Welcome to the Living Well Wednesday call for Georgia Christian Business Network. We are so glad that you are joining us today. We have one of our panelists that we love, Chi Chi, and she's going to be on the call today talking about your body tells you the truth before your mind accepts it. And if you have not met Chi Chi in person, I think you should do that. I'm sure, I don't know if you're going to GGG Chi Chi, but that's where I met Chi Chi. And you have such a light about you, Chi Chi. Like of course you have the Lord with you, but like you just love people. And I'll just have to say this. I remember one time at GGG, we had our Saturday night dinner or cookout, and we were on the back of the golf course, whatever they call that, the golf clubhouse. And we were talking, and Chi Chi said, Lisa, I have friends, and we go and we make it a point to have time away. Because at this time, I had you, there was a lot of things going on in my life. And I don't know when the last time was that I had taken a break. And she's like, you have to make time. You have to do that. And if you have these girlfriends and you challenge each other and you go, and I think we connected on a better level or like a deeper level in that conversation. And Chi Chi is a doctor. She went through the school, she got her doctorate degree, but she's not practicing medicine, but she is sharing with us how, and you're a professor, correct, Chi Chi? I thought, okay, I wanted to make sure I got that right. And so she teaches, but she also has a passion for health and wellness and what we put in our bodies. And she also has a clothing line. There's different things about Chi Chi that I'm sure you can share with us too. But Chi Chi, will you let us know who you are? Will you tell us what you love most about GCBN? And I'll get us on the Facebook groups and those kind of things. And then you can dive into your conversation today. And I'm so glad that you're here. We also have Pauline Walker's over here on the Zoom side. We have Julie Mills Watson. You guys know her, who is also a passionate and advocate for health and wellness and being well in your body and taking care and having great quality of life. And so we're so glad that you're here, Julie. And we also have Renee Salvery, our prayer warrior in GCBN. And so she's over here on the Zoom side. So we're so glad that you are with us today. Let us know where you're tuning in from. If you have any questions for any of the ladies here, I'll field them over here to the Zoom side. But we're glad that you're joining us, and let us know where you're coming from. Chi Chi, take it away.
All right. All right. Welcome, everyone. Just like Lisa said, my name is Dr. Chichi, or you can call me Chichi. It doesn't matter. I am a health coach. Well, originally I went to medical school, graduated as, with my MD, and life happens. So currently I am, a health coach, and I also teach at a local college here. And I am very, very passionate about our health. And that obviously stems from, my own health journey. And so I decided that, during my journey, I learned a lot about my friends or my circle who are also going through some health challenges, but they are not talking to anybody. And so for me, it became, a passion. It became a calling, to just kind of, educate people on little things that you can do to just kind of, help you. I'm not saying that you should do an overnight gimmick, but it's a journey. And that's where what I talk to my clients, and that is one of the things that I myself, constantly doing. Yes, sometimes you may fall off, sometimes, you're not sure what you're doing, if what you're doing is actually right or not. But as a health coach, I am here and with, other health coaches are there to kind of, help guide you to the right path. So this is where, my topic for this month is your body tells you the truth before your mind accepts it. And a lot of times, most of us, we don't even know. We don't know when our body is telling us the truth and until it's too late. Or sometimes our body is telling us the truth and we just choose not to accept it. We just want to keep going. There is this saying that, most of the time, you might see some people who have, they are living their life, enjoying life. But once they are told, oh, you have cancer, it's almost like, life stuff for them. and you can see it start to drain them. And before, it, of course, life gets taken away from them. But before that, they were living life. They were enjoying life. They did not know that something was wrong with their body until, somehow they're like, you know what, let me go check this out. Let me go see what's going on. Let me see if, what I'm feeling, is it really, right? Or, is that just my body? And then once they get that diagnosis, it's almost like it's a wrap. And this is something that I always tell people that, whatever diagnosis that you get, it's not the end of the world. Find a way to, live life through it. Okay, we are not cats that we don't have 9 lives. We only have that one life. So whatever diagnosis that you have going on, find a way to live through it, and also find a way to, if you can, understand what are the things that I can help to help, heal my body. What are some things that I can do, to kind of extend my life? And of course, through it all, still remember God, because it doesn't matter how much kale you eat, doesn't matter how much spinach you eat. If God says that you're going to die today, you are going to die. So anyway, that's my topic. Your body tells you the truth before your mind accepts it. All right, so my theme is the body often reveals dysfunction long before the conscious mind is ready to acknowledge it. Symptoms are not random inconveniences, they are biological messages, they are warning systems, and they are invitation to deeper our healing. And I think sometimes, we see things like this, and, when we hear or when we start to see all of these little things coming up, again, we'll talk about some of the symptoms, that we start to feel. And sometimes, we, kind of shovel them under the rug. We kind of feel like, oh, this is not happening. Like, I don't feel it, it's genetic, or is I work so long. And I give you guys an example. When I was pregnant with my daughter, she's 6 now, she's gonna be 7 in July. And so I remember I'm like energetic burner. I am always, like lively and doing my thing. But, in a month or two, I was just so tired. I would find myself sleeping, and I still work out. But I was trying to tell myself, like, no, I think the exercise machine that I have here, my body is so used to it. I need to go to the gym. I even went to the gym. I almost registered. I went there, negotiated with them, like, okay, I'm coming with my husband. I try to convince my husband, like, this is the right gym. We need to, kind of change up our scenario, our environment, that I think that that's what my body needs. I think maybe a couple of days before that, a couple of days after, I talked myself into going to the gym, right? Trying to change the way that I do things. I started throwing up. And my husband just jokingly said, what if you're pregnant? I'm like, no way, I can't be pregnant. I was like, oh, I've been so tired lately. I think that's what's going on with me. Lo and behold, I did that test and I was pregnant. So again, my body was already telling me the truth. It was not because I was not exercising. It was not because, I need a change of environment. It's because I have a whole human being growing in my body. And so, so
I
again,
love that.
these are the little things that, us as human, sometimes we don't really pay attention to what's going on with our body or what our body is trying to tell us. And then sometimes, we just feel like, oh yeah, the body's telling us something, but, let's push it to the side. It doesn't matter. So that's something that I really want you guys, pay attention to your body. Try to understand what your body is telling you. Sometimes, we equate some of the symptoms that we're experiencing as old age. Oh yeah, it's just I'm getting old. That's why I'm doing this. Not really. Sometimes, it's telling you that it's something really deep going on. And so that key focus today is going to be, we're going to look at the fatigue, inflammation, weight gain, anxiety, gut, dysfunction, as body signals. Symptoms as communication, not punishment. We are going to look at the cortisol. We are going to look at nervous system dysregulation and chronic stress. Also, why denial delays healing. Okay, sometimes, we've had, yeah, and I've seen that happen when people have their body's showing them things, their body's telling them what's going on, but they chose to be in denial. And by the time they seek help, it's too late. All right, so healing begins when we stop ignoring the truth our body is telling us. Okay, and it is the truth. Healing begins when we stop ignoring the truth our body is telling us. Okay, just like I gave you guys this scenario of, me finding out that I was pregnant. Now, that to me, obviously, things start to make sense to me. Why I was getting tired, why I was sleeping a lot, why I couldn't, focus the way that I used to focus. I would go out to run, and instead of running, I'll just start walking because I'm like so tired. So again, healing begins when we stop ignoring the truth our body is telling us. The core truth is your body speaks through symptoms before disease speaks through diagnosis. Your body speaks through symptoms before disease speaks through diagnosis. Let that sink in. I've had people that would say, oh, I've been coughing for a month, and they are coughing, coughing, coughing. So they thought it was just, bronchitis, or they thought it was just, your regular cold. But then by the time they show up, it turns out that it's some kind of, cancer growing. But again, is you understanding, man, this cough have gone on for 2 days. It's gone on for 3 days, 1 week, 1 month. Okay, something got to be, it has to be done. And so again, your body has been speaking through symptoms before the disease speaks through diagnosis. Many people normalize chronic fatigue. Many people, again, when we see chronic fatigue, people think, oh, I work way too much. That is why I'm so tired. Something is going on the inside that your body is trying to tell you. Something is going on. Weight gain. Some people gain weight when they are going through certain things, when you are going through stress, when you are going through, whatever it is, people will start to gain weight. Sometimes people will say, oh, obesity runs in our family, therefore I'm bound to get it. No. Or people will say, you know what? Yes, and this is actually when people start to acknowledge it. You know what? I've been working hard. I have not been able to take care of myself. Now I'm gaining weight, or I'm eating things that I'm not supposed to be eating. That's why I'm gaining weight. Brain fog. Okay, brain fog. Again, sometimes we equate that as we are getting old. That's why, I'm forgetting things. And, sometimes again, it's not normal. I think I've talked about this before when, and there's a study out there, if you guys want to look at it, it says that Alzheimer's is now type 3 diabetes. Okay. A lot of the patients that have Alzheimer's, they've tested them, they've realized that a lot of things that they have in common is that they eat a lot of carbohydrates. All right, sugar cravings. Sugar cravings. I was actually talking to chatting with somebody yesterday or 2 days ago. And because right now I'm going through 3-day detox. So it's in something else, with my detox. But so I'm posting on my social media, day one, day two. And so she responded, she's like, man, I need one of these. And I was like, I said, yeah, reach out to me. Let's, talk about it. And she's like, I find myself just eating too much. I find myself, doing eating a lot, not, watching what I eat, not exercising. And then I sent a message back to her. I said, maybe something is going on. Let's talk about it. And she's like, yeah, I noticed that since I lost my sister, it feels like I don't have that drive, in me. And I was like, wow. So again, it's all part of her grief. But the good thing for her now is that she has recognized that something is going on. A lot of times people don't even recognize that. They don't acknowledge that, right? And so again, you have that sugar craving, you have bloating, anxiety is a big thing now. Everybody's pretty much going through some kind of anxiety right now, especially with us, society, the way that it's going. And one of the things that I always, remind myself, and my mother-in-law will say that, is that it doesn't matter who is in the position of authority. Ultimately, it is God. So when we are having all this anxiety, the anxiety does not solve anything for us. Rather, it causes more harm to our body. And all we need to do is take it up to God and ask God, what is it that you want me to do in this situation? How can I be able to help? Like right now, I cannot help, I cannot change United States, but I can help change the mindset of people that are surrounding me in that way. Because again, anxiety, you have so many people that are on medication for anxiety, and we know that those medications have side effects, right? So you are trying to cure one thing, and then you have hundreds of side effects just in that tiny little pill. So again, this is where we come in, try to understand how can we help, the people who are surrounding us, people who we see all the time, to help with the whole, decrease the anxiety level. Also, poor sleep. That's another thing. Sometimes, again, I talked about this before when I was in undergrad. We used to, pretty much like it's almost like a bragging right. If you get 2 hours of sleep, you're like, yes, I did it, 2 hours. But now, as you get older, you realize that your body keeps score, right? So again, having to understand what is causing me to have this poor sleep. Why am I not getting enough sleep? What is going on deep down? What is the root cause of that? Of course, high blood pressure. Again, I've talked about this before where we kind of normalize the high blood pressure. We say, oh, it's, family inherited disease. So, grandmother had it, great grandmother had it, grandpa has it, mother has it, father has it. Now, it's my turn. And, I'm going to pass it on to my kids. But we need to go back and figure out, why are we having this high blood pressure? There is no gene that is linked to this high blood pressure. Let's figure out what is causing you to get this high blood pressure and then try to help you decrease that blood pressure. So, but these are often early physiological indicators that our body is compensating. Our body is inflamed, our body is overloaded, and therefore there's a dysregulation going on in our body. And so again, these are just the little things that I wanted to kind of, talk about again, that our body speaks through symptoms before the disease speak through diagnosis. One of the things I always tell, my clients, or when every time I have an event, I would tell them, don't wait until you get diagnosed with something before you try to be, healthy. Because we have people that say, well, I don't have any, I've not been diagnosed with anything, knock on wood. Okay. But that's not a good thing because you already know that you're not going that right path. So try to understand, how do I get myself on a health journey before I get diagnosed with something? Because once you get diagnosed with something, guess what? You become anxious, right? Anxiety kicks in. And now you're adding more things to your body that you're not supposed to be adding. All right. So I wanted to see, Lisa, you want to chime in? You got something you want to add?
I'm just like, I feel attacked. No, I'm just kidding. I'm like all of those things. I'm like all the things, the lack of sleep, all the things. But when you were talking, and I know it's been said before, and Julie, you even mentioned it last week on some of the conversation that you had with us on the call. But when you're talking, I'm thinking about like the control panel in your car, and those lights are all. I'm the one that's like, if the gas light's going, I'm like, I'll sing this little out of mine until Jesus gets me to the gas station. But like that is not a good thing to do with your health. You know what I mean? So like if your check engine light is on, you probably really should take that in and have it evaluated and looked at. And
Mm-hmm.
so too with our health. And I think that we can use the word busy. I'm too busy, to
Yeah.
take care of it. And Julie, you said last week, I think you said last week, when you're finding alternative ways, like your health is worth that. You know what I mean? You're going to have to pay for some things, or your food may be a little bit different, but it's going to cost you less in the long run if your body is fueled the right way. Versus looking at the sticker price and saying, oh, this is too expensive. I can't afford that. But then
Mm-hmm.
can you afford cancer, or can you afford, other diseases? And I love how you said that acknowledging it, right? Acknowledging and listening to what your body's telling you before you actually get the diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like that meme of where Homer Simpson is like pushing himself back into the bush. Do you know that meme that I'm talking about? He's like pushing it back like he's that's how I feel right now. That's all. That's all.
Yeah.
I'd
And
like to add something, a little
yes,
something.
Julie.
So the first thing that came to mind is that it's not that people don't want to do something. Everything makes sense. It's in their head. I've got this. I can handle this, whatever it is. But the body, what Chi Chi's talking about is your body's giving you signals that says, "Oh heck no, 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 no! You cannot. Your body, you pushed me to the limit." And in our minds, we think, no, we can handle it. I can handle less sleep. I can handle the bloating. I can handle the inflammation. Up here is very different than everything. So that's where I think I know that Chi Chi's talking about. I have a little story of a client that this is years and years ago, one of my first cancer clients, helping him with lymphedema, and he had a severe back pain, and went to an orthopedic or whatever, and they said, oh yeah, we'll just do a little surgery and take care of that. And I kept telling him, no, 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 you've got too much inflammation already, your body's fighting the cancer, it's just going to fuel it. And unfortunately, I was correct. So up here, he said, I can take surgery, I can take the pain. It makes sense to get rid of the pain, but he wasn't listening to what was going on in his body, and that he was fighting the cancer, and that was fuel for the cancer. All that inflammation, that trauma to the body is what disease lives in. And I tried and tried and tried to tell him, and unfortunately, he had the surgery, and within a month, he was gone. So that was a big aha moment for me to say, oh, it's not that people don't care about themselves, it's that they think that they can handle it mentally.
Yeah. Thank you, Julie, for sharing that. That is great input, because like you said, many people, like I just give an example, when I was in undergrad, 2 hours of sleep was like, yeah, we got this, even in medical school. What am I even saying? Even as, medical school, it was like, yep, 1 hour, we did it, and in your mind, you are doing it, but your body is keeping score, you know. And the thing is that, like I was telling, I went to an event on Sunday, and I was talking to one of my friends there, and I was like, I'd like to share. Okay, sure, Colin. So I was telling, we were just talking about health and things of that nature. And she kept saying, yes. And it's so interesting. Just like, this is some of the things that I go back to the Bible, and I remember the part where Jesus said, in my house, or in my, I receive no honor, type thing. But it's not that she's not, obviously respecting her, because she's always like, asking questions about health every time we're around, and I kind of made that comment, like every time, we're around, it's always about health, you're always asking me about health questions. And then at the same time, she knows, the companies that I've partnered with, but she chose to buy her little supplement from another company. right? And so she's asking me about the those supplements that she's gonna. I was like, I don't know. I don't take them, so I don't know much about them. So I can't really sit and tell you. But anyway, that is to tell you, yes, that seed is being sown. Hopefully, somehow that person can wake up one day and say, you know what, I really need to take care of myself before it's too late. Right. And just like I'm sure, with you, Julie, as a health coach, you can also attest to when people come to you, they want to ask you all these questions. But when you tell them, go and sign up so that I can help you walk through this journey, like, oh, I can afford it, but they can afford to go and get their nails done every other week. They can afford to get their, hair done. They can afford to go to McDonald's, get, like things that I'm like, wow. And you're fueling your body with things that that are going to, hurt you long run. It might not be, doing anything right now. It might not be showing you anything. But when it starts to show that signs or when it starts to show you that symptoms, you again might recognize it or ignore it. And then when it's now too late, that's when it's like, oh, like I always, I make jokes with my brother all the time, like, I don't want people asking me to do praying and fasting to help. I want to be doing praying and fasting because of something that's not because you chose to ignore yourself, not because you intentionally kill your body, and now you want me to be praying and fasting for your body. So again, I really enjoyed, this input, Julie. And I know, Pauline, you say you wanted to add something.
Yeah, this is my first time on a Living Well Wednesday call. And I am so happy to be on here because Chi, you are spot on with everything. My background is I'm a cosmetologist. So I've been focusing a lot on scalp care. And as I continue to do more research based on what my clients are coming to me for, I'm just realizing that everything starts internal. And so when I'm working with clients, trying to get them, hey, I know you're concerned about your scalp, but the issue is coming from within. And it's like no one wants to deal with within. They just want to focus on, oh, well, just do my hair and make it look nice, or tell me why I'm losing my hair. Why am I shedding? And I'm like, well, there's something that's going on in the inside that is alarming you and is showing up in the hair. And I would talk to them about that. And then recently I was like, you know what? I'm encouraging them to go and do blood work and so forth. And I was like, I'm going to get my own blood work done. But I went through a program called Function Health where they checked everything.
Oh,
And you wouldn't believe all this time I've been getting blood work done at my normal doctor's appointment or my not OB, GYN. They would always say, oh, everything's normal, everything's good. And then this time when I did it through this program, literally, Farrington came back so low. I'm surprised I'm still walking. I'm like, how is this possible? Vitamin D is low, inflammation is through the roof, cholesterol. I'm like, oh my God. And those are markers that aren't showing up, or well, insurance won't even allow the doctors to check them. So
mm-mm.
they're not showing up. Now I'm finding out I have all this inflammation in my body. And Julie, I saw you on here. I'm like, oh, I got to talk to her about these patches because I need to figure out what patch is going to work for inflammation. But now I'm on a journey of trying to figure out, okay, how to get this inflammation down because honestly, when I go to the doctor, they're trying to just cover up, put Band-Aid on stuff, and they're not checking everything. So they're telling you you're good when you have other things going on. And now I'm trying to focus on my gut health. I want to do a cleanse, just do different things to help get the inflammation down and try to cure the issue, the actual problem, and not just try to focus on pain. Oh, put this Band-Aid on this pain and do this and do that. So thank you for sharing what you're sharing because it just confirms that yeah, everything, your cortisol level, everything. If you're not getting those things checked, especially as, women who work and take care of parents or take care of kids, we expect to be tired. And it's now like, oh, if you're tired, that's normal. And then when you're not tired, you feel guilty because you feel like you're not doing enough. So it's
Enough.
just like a whole cycle, you know? And so now I'm like, no, I'm not supposed to be tired. I'm supposed to feel better. I need to see what's going on with my body. Like you said, your body starts speaking before. And so I'm just so thankful that you're sharing this, and just it's like another reminder to not ignore the symptoms because you don't want to wait till it gets worse, because I'm dealing with inflammation now. I'm having like different things pop up on my body. I'm like, oh Lord, let me get this under control. So thank you so much for sharing, because for those of you who are listening, this is all legit, because it's going to, no matter what part of your body or what you do, it is going to show up, whether it's in your hair, your scalp, your day to day, all that stuff shows up in your lifestyle if you're not taking care of within.
Yes, thank you so much, Pauline, for sharing. And just to add to that, if you want me to come and do some, event for you, please reach out to me. I am more than happy. I love going out, to talk about health, because a lot of times I always, one of my key things is that my people perish due to lack of, knowledge or wisdom. And a lot of times, I hear people say, oh, yeah, I'm eating healthy. Oh, I'm doing this. And then when you're looking like, oh, yeah, today is my cheat day. Sure, it's your cheat day. Tomorrow it's going to be your cheat day. So again, it's just little things, again, like I know I was talking to somebody before and they were like, yeah, I drink a lot of water. So I said, okay. I said, how much water do you think you drink a day? Or how much should you be drinking? She's like, I don't know, but I know I drink a lot of water. So when I told her, I said, okay, you get your weight divided into two, that, amount in ounces, that's what you're supposed to be drinking. And so she pulled out her phone and she did it real quick. And she's like, oh no, I'm definitely not getting that much in my system. I said, yep. A lot of times just that little thing can make a difference. Just learning how to, drink the amount of water that you're supposed to be drinking can help a lot. And, Pauline, just like you said, we have gotten to a situation where, our society, if you break your nail, we got medication for that. If your eyelash fall off, we got medication for that. Instead of us trying to find out what is the root cause of why your eyelash is falling off or why your nail break, let's find the root cause. But no, we have medication to give you for that, and then you go back and you start to deal with the side effect of that medication. And so that side effect of that medication, you come and you tell the doctor, this is what I'm feeling. Oh, we got another medication to help you with that, side effect. And so it becomes a cycle. And you come in for just one medication, and before you know it, you're not, and you end up with five to 10 medications, all because of side effects of the other one. All right, Julie.
Yeah, so I love it that Pauline brought up about the blood test, because that is a very frustrating thing. I went to my doctor for my regular physical, and he's like, okay, go get blood work. And I was like, no, 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 I want this, and this tested, just because, we're in the wellness industry and know what to ask for. But can you speak more into blood tests, and what should we ask for, and know that we're going to have to pay out of pocket for those extra ones, but they're well worth it? Could you touch on that just a bit?
Yeah, so one of my biggest one that I always say, everybody should ask your doctor to do your vitamin D level. Vitamin D level is one of the biggest thing, because we know that vitamin D is antioxidant, okay, meaning that it helps to fight inflammation. And for some reason, doctors don't do it. One of the reason is because the insurance does not want to pay for it. So I've gone to my doctor. This was like maybe, I want to say about 3, 4 years ago. When I started learning about the vitamin D, I was like, wow, this is a powerful, because we all know about vitamin D as, helps with your bone, helps with your bone. But then, do we really understand what the vitamin D does for us? And so, when I asked him, can you do a test? Let me just see what my vitamin D level looks like. And he's like, oh, every Black people, they are low on vitamin D. I'm like, okay, I want to know how low my own is. I just want to know. So can we please, get it in? And so he checked it. And so when he checked it, and obviously he came back low. Mind you, I'm a runner, and even though I have not been running, I still run, but I don't run as much as I used to. I do more of like walking and then, powerlifting and all of that. But, my vitamin D level was low. And that obviously made me say, you know what, let me start taking care of this vitamin D level, because vitamin D level has been linked to cancer. And if you don't know that, low vitamin D has been linked to cancer. If you guys remember, when COVID was at the peak, we were told to take what? Vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, right? And so what do all of these have in common? Antioxidants. They help with those, that whole stress. They help, reduce the inflammation that is going on in our body. And so vitamin D is one of the biggest things for me to ask for. Check my, and I can tell you from that time till now, my vitamin D level has been going up and up. Now it's normal, it's going up. And I keep, like, I am a firm believer. You have to advocate for yourself. So vitamin D, another thing also is that, they don't like to do it, but you ask for CRP. CRP helps to check for inflammation. Of course, at a certain age, they will start to check your estrogen level, estrogen, testosterone, what are that, the women panel, hormones. That's one of the things that I also recommend. Another thing that I'm thinking of is, there's one big one that is also falling out of my head now. But yeah, the CRP is a big one. Oh yeah. So when they check the thyroid level, this is something that I also learned. They will check the TSH level, but they're not checking for the T3, T4. A lot of times they don't want to do that. Again, I'm sure it's because of insurance, but you have to ask, can they check for your T3, T4? Another one that's been getting a lot of buzz now is the LPL, which is a lipoprotein lipase. Again, those are markers, that helps us to know whether we're at cardiovascular risk or cardiovascular disease risk. So LPL, and then I think the other one is like LPA or something like that. If I remember it, I'll post it on the group, but I know I wrote it down somewhere. But it's a panel that helps to kind of, know whether you are a cardiovascular disease risk. They don't check it until it's too late, right? And so again, it's a big thing that, you have to speak up for yourself. You have to be able to, tell the doctors, because again, you're paying the insurance, right? You're paying all these, I don't know about you guys. I know that I'm with Blue Cross, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and it's a lot of money coming out of my paycheck. And so I want things to be done for me, not them just collecting money all the time. So yeah, those are the key things that I would say, ask the doctors to kind of check. A lot of times, again, the doctors don't like to do that. This is why some people go to functional health practitioners, so that they can help, do all kinds of testing. And it's no, like, we always joke about this in medicine, when something is going on with you and we don't know what it is, we just call it idiopathic. It's idiopathic. We don't know what it is, but it's idiopathic something. We don't know what's causing it, but it's idiopathic. And this is something that you can, a lot of times, like I said, when I get my clients, I want to go to the root cause, not just let's go to the root cause. Why are you not sleeping? Why do you think you are eating a lot? Why do you think that, you are getting angry a lot? So again, finding out the root cause helped with the healing. Not just, okay, I'm not sleeping, let me give you melatonin. Okay, I have headache, let's get Tylenol, let's get this one, let's get that. And by doing that, again, don't forget, the more medication that you have, again, there's a lot of things that, medication will help you. Like when I was diagnosed with my high blood pressure, my doctor told me, why don't you just, take the medication while you are working on your health journey, because my blood pressure was high. And again, I thought that I was healthy because remember I told you guys I was exercising, I'm running, and somehow I got into that whole, I got diagnosed with high blood pressure. And so when I started, my health coaching, that's when I learned a lot about what is truly causing my high blood pressure and how I can truly help myself. So when I discovered the root cause of what's going on, that is what helped me to be able to manage my blood pressure better. Because if I'm taking all these medication, I already know the side effect of these medications. I already know what it's going to do to my body. So I don't want to go through that route. But he was like, well, I'm just going to give you a low dose. Take the low dose while you're going on your health journey. And I'm glad that I did that because, again, that helped me. It's like a driver to tell me I cannot be on this medication for the rest of my life. I have to make a change. Okay. All right. So I hope that helped. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, Pauline. Thank you. Yes, she posted it. Yep. Lipoprotein A. Yeah. LPA. Yeah. All right. So again, the body whispers before it screams. The body whispers before it starts to scream. So ignoring whispers can eventually lead to louder manifestations such as type 2 diabetes, hypertension, autoimmune dysfunction, hormonal imbalance, depression, cardiovascular disease. If you guys are here, when I talked about the gut health, you guys know that a lot of this, stem from our gut not being healed. And just like I've talked about, I'm going through the 3-day detox right now. I've been doing it now for maybe over 3 years, and I can see the difference. And I do my detox every 3 to 4 months, and it's been a game changer for me. And again, that helps to take out, those toxins that are building up in our body. Because again, toxins are constantly, even as you're talking, even as you're breathing, they are coming in. And so, we have to understand what are some of the ways that we can be able to help ourselves, through this journey. It's a daily journey. Let's not fall into this whole thing of, I get to the point now, I went to an event, somebody asked me, oh, how is your health coaching going? I said, yeah, it's going well. And she's like, oh, what are the clients that you focus on? And I said, yeah, I focus on people who want to lose weight, type 2 diabetes, who wants to learn, about their health journey, high blood pressure. And she's like, oh, okay, do you do GLP-1? I said, nope, I don't. And she's like, oh, she does it. She has a wellness, wellness. She's a wellness coach. So she does, GLP-1, and of course, they're making money from it. And I said, so how do you handle the side effects that comes with that? And she's like, well, I just eat a lot of fiber. I just eat a lot of this, a lot of that. I was like, wow, this is not things that I'm hearing, because there's a lot of, I don't know if you guys have seen that, there's a lot of lawsuits going on with all of these, quick fix, because people are getting a lot of side effects that they did not, bargain for, and they are getting a lot more sicker. And that's why to be healthy is a journey, not an overnight, fix. And that's why you have to pay attention to that and make sure that you are not falling into the whole trap of, oh, if you do this, this is gonna make you lose weight in 2 weeks or in 3 days. And you see people getting into, that whole quick gimmick. Okay. All right. So another, I know that we are out of time. One thing that I wanted to kind of, there's like a Bible verse here is in Psalms, where it says, I am wonderfully and beautifully, made. And so, just that we remember that our body, God created our body the way that, he saw it fit. And, like I've always said, somebody said when we are eating the natural things that God made, we don't get sick. We get sick when we eat things that are man-made. When we start to go in and start, make our own concussions, things are being processed in the labs and they are being brought out and we are eating. Those are the things that are making us sick. And one of the things that I always, think about my body is that think about your house. When your house is dirty, when your house is unkept, you don't feel good. You don't want to come in. So think about your body when your body is not the way that God made it. Does Holy Spirit still live in it? Does it come in and dwell? And that's why we have to, again, keep our body clean. We have to understand how to, present our body so that, again, just like the Bible said, don't you know that your body is a temple of Christ? And so having that, clean body and making sure that we are being intentional about the things that we are putting in our body, making sure that we understand what is man-made and why this man-made food is literally like, destroying our body. And being intentional about understanding that and going out, making sure that what we are putting in our body, what we are putting in our body is what's going to feed us and not what's going to destroy us. Okay. All right. So in conclusion, I'm going to leave you guys with this quote that I have here. And that is to say, healing begins when we stop arguing with our symptoms and start listening. Okay. Healing begins when we stop arguing with our symptoms and start listening. Your body often knows before your mind is ready. The goal is not to fear. The goal is awareness, alignment, and trust. So again, thank you guys. Don't forget, your body tells you the truth before your mind accepts it.
Chichi, that was so great. Such great information. I was thinking when you were talking, and maybe you already have this, do you have like a workbook or do you have, I don't know, just the different clean foods that, because you were talking about like lab created foods, and we have to be more careful of what we're selecting in even in our big box stores, because some of that stuff is not natural. You go home and you cut it and you're like, oh, why is this like rubber? And so, just I'm curious if you had something like that you could share with us, and if not, maybe the Lord would impress on your part to create that.
I actually have one that I'm going through with a group right now. Let me see what it is. It's a topic I'm actually going to talk about it on Saturday.
Nice.
And it's a great workshop, like I always, tell my group there, making sure that, what I do, I educate. And so by educating means that I want you to be able to take action, not just come here and listen to me. I want you to take action, and that, you taking action means that you need to do the work. Yeah. So that is where is my thought? It's basically like, the way that God designs our gut health. That's a topic on that. It's been a great topic because when I have these people that I go to like once a month, I do, we have that discussion, and it's a great, just God, the way that God designed our gut health. What are we doing with it? So I have some, practical steps. Okay, let's maybe this week, let's do one or two things, next week, let's do one or two things. And so I'm excited because we are going to meet up again this Saturday. So I'm going to see what they have done.
Nice.
So that could be something.
That's great. That's great. And I know Miss Beth had mentioned also doing like a wellness, like at Cornerstone and us coming together and doing like a wellness, not a workshop, but like a seminar or something like that. So more to come on that. Thank you so much for just loving us and telling us the truth. Because, you know, I don't know about the people on the Facebook side or the other streams or even here on the Zoom, just kind of like, oh yeah, I need to do that. I need to take care of that. Or yes, that's a sign or a symptom. And the root cause, I love that you kept saying root cause, because our traditional medicine situation does not do root cause. And so that's something that you need to take into consideration when you're out and about. And like Gigi said, functional medicine or somebody who's going to treat the root of what's going on. And so, and that can be costly, but it can also take a little bit of time, but just know that your health is worth that. So, Chi, when you get through, will you go to the Facebook side and put your information into how we can connect with you after? And then that way that'll be kind of evergreen over on the Facebook side and people can reach out and connect. If you want to have Chi come and do a training class with you or do for your organization or what have you, reach out to her. You have heard her, you know that she knows what she's talking about, and we're excited that you came and that you're here on our Living Well Wednesday platform. So thank you so much. I'm going to do a couple of announcements really fast. I want to let you guys know that next Friday, I'm trying to think of the week, is our first Friday noon nugget. And so make sure to tune into that on our Facebook group at noon. We have our prayer call on Monday at 9 o'clock Eastern time. I almost said Central. It's not Central. It is Eastern time. Renee Salvery and Miss Beth are leading out that call, and it's a beautiful time of prayer and sharing your burdens. It's not an advertising call. We don't do a training or anything like that. It's literally just get on Zoom, share your burdens, and we pray over them. And it is powerful. I was on the call this week with Renee. Amazing. You guys need to tune into that. Put that on your Monday morning. Start your week in prayer with GCBN. Tuesday, we have a Transformation Tuesday call every Tuesday at noon. Yesterday we had Dr. Dawn. She's the heart doctor, and heart, and as in like heart and emotion and working, not necessarily open heart surgery. Okay. But she is phenomenal. And her conversation was so great. You guys got to go check that out if you haven't yet. We are coming into our June month. So in June, we have I think that would be Saturday, the 6th. We have our GGG virtual clinic. We're going to have Christian Haley online with us. Christian Haley is a golf enthusiast. She also has a company that deals with golf, and I forgot the name of it. Let me see if I can find it right fast. Faith and Fairways Golf Co. So her and her husband own that. So she's qualified, she's trained, she golfs, and she's going to come and teach us some steps and some tools to be able to use as we're going into GGG months and before we get to Lake Lanier at the Greens. So there will also be a time for you to get some prizes because we'll have door prizes that day, but also, hello, can you go over here? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, come in here and help me. So we will also have door prizes. We will also be sharing what God Golf and Girls is, all of that, the who, what, when, where, why, how. You'll hear from the GCBN team and the GGG team. And so we're just excited to be able to offer that on Saturday, the 6th. I think it's the 6th of June. If it's not, then just know it's that first Saturday in June. And we'll have Christian Haley with us. God Golf and Girls is August 14th, 15th, and 16th at Lake Lanier. So if you haven't registered for that, please do. There are different opportunities for payments. Walk away for me. Please walk away. Thank you. So if you don't want to use the Eventbrite and use the, because they'll charge different fees, we do have other payment opportunities for you. You can reach out to Rose to be able to do that. There are, let's see, I'm trying to think of what other things. There are day rates as well. So we have some people that are faithful to come to GGG, but they cannot come for all of the days. So there are also opportunities for you to maybe come to Saturday or maybe come Saturday, Sunday, or maybe just come Friday night. Invite some folks to come with you. This event is outstanding. It is the experience. You have to literally be on the grounds to understand what that is. But as Miss Beth says, as soon as you cross the bridge at Lake Lanier in Buford, Georgia, you're ours. We take care of you. You don't have to worry about a thing unless you want to. We cover food. We cover your attire that you're going to be wearing for the golf field. I'm at the golf course. I always call it the golf field. soccer field, golf course. Okay. And so that'll be taken care of. We do the events that we have, there's always prizes, and the prizes are outstanding. So think of a couple of women that you would like to invite, and please reach out to them. On behalf of Beth and Jess and the team, just reach out to them and just offer the opportunity to come to the clinic, or to get a ticket. Okay. If you know of people that want to sponsor, we have a magazine that we do every year. And in this magazine, it has all of the speakers, but every person that comes to GGG will get a magazine. I think we had 97 women on the grounds last year. This will go home with them. It'll also be on the grounds so people can take a look at it. There's definitely opportunities for the businesses that are in this magazine to be spread out and about. So we also do it online. We share it to our Facebook page and groups. So you're going to have anywhere from about 2,000 other eyes being able to see that. So if you want to sponsor, we also have hole sponsors. So each golf hole, we golf on 9 holes. Each of those holes are sponsored by a business, and we do a poster, like I don't know what to call it, but like a stand, like a poster stand that'll be out on that green. And that will be like your hole, right, for that. And so your information will be on there, and anybody who is golfing at Lake Lanier during that time frame, they get to see that as well. Because we have people, the guys, they'll be like, "Are you done yet?" Because they're waiting on us to get finished with that hole or whatever. So other people around, and Lake Lanier is a great golf course. It's actually very beautiful. We are not sure if we'll have Taylor coming, but she thinks that she is going to be playing, but we're still working that out. But we will definitely have a golf enthusiast for you if Taylor isn't able to make it. But she had her baby, and so we're trying to give her that space. But if she's able to come, we're hoping that she'll be there. Yes. And so, maybe grandma can come with her and hold the baby, during that time frame that she's teaching. And she does such a great job explaining, but I'm excited to hear Christian as well. And so I'm sure she's going to do amazing. And I found out, small world, GGG, Christian is from Tennessee, literally the next neighborhood over from where I grew up. So who knows who you're going to meet in GGG, a GCBN or a GGG. Okay. That's all the announcements that I have today. Check us out, our Facebook page and our website. Website is gcbnetwork.com. Our Facebook page is Georgia Christian Business Network. We also have a Facebook group, and that it's the same, Georgia Christian Business Network. So check those out. And if you need anything, just let us know. We're here. You can email info@gcbnetwork.com. You can reach out to Rose or myself, and we'll be glad to help you with any GCBN needs. Girls, thank you for being on this side over here on the Zoom side. And we had some folks on the Facebook side. I know Kenna was over there, and Jadana was over there. So thank you guys for tuning in on the Facebook side. And we will see you guys later. Bye, guys.
Oh, don't forget.
I'm going to post it. I'll post it.
Okay.